Let me start by introducing myself. My name is Malini. You can call me Malini. Okay. Before I start the presentation proper, I want to just share a little bit about myself with you. I am actually married to a famous actor come singer from South India. So, when my Singaporean friends found out, they were all very, very excited for me. Oh, you're getting married to him. Oh, wow, and all this. So they basically wanted to know more gossips about what was happening down south in Tamil Nadu, the Indian arena, the film arena. So they got really excited for me. But 1 year into the marriage, I had an announcement to make. And the announcement said, husband for sale, comes with a 42-inch TV and remote control. But this was then, because I've been married to him for about 16 years. Okay? And I've given him intensive training. So I'm sure there's a change, right? So now my announcement says, husband for sale, comes with an iPhone surgically attached to his hand. Yes. My husband has a more intense relationship with his phone than with me. He's always on the phone. He sleeps with the phone under his pillow. He goes to the toilet with his phone. He's basically inseparable from his phone. Okay? But this is not something just happening, that's something that's happening just in my house. It's a similar situation a lot of people are facing out there. It's just not something that's peculiar to me. Okay? So that's why I'm here to talk about the third person in the marriage. Not the mistress, no more, the mobile phone. Okay? Mistress easier to handle. Okay, in today's presentation we're going to be covering two main topics, two main factors. We're going to talk about nomophobia and fubbing. Okay? We will conclude with why we need more family time as opposed to mobile time. Okay? And at the end of the presentation, what are you going to take home with you? You're going to go home with better understanding of why the negative effects of mobile use on a relationship. So you're going to understand what are the negative effects on a relationship. And then you're going to make the best of not only embracing technology, but also as spouses and partners. Okay? So I'm going to start the presentation with a little story, and it's going to bring us to Hong Kong. Okay? It's about this young lady. She's in her 20s, and she's commuting on a train in Hong Kong. Okay? Everybody's there, rush hour, and then suddenly you hear her wailing away. She starts crying, kicking and crying. She goes ballistic. And I'm sure you want to know why. Because her battery died while she was playing Rush. Okay? I'm sure that some of you must have watched the video that went viral, but I'm just going to play it for those who haven't seen it, and hopefully go on with the presentation. Continue with the presentation. What happens is she stops crying only when someone else comes and hands over a power bank to her. That's when she stops crying. Okay? Such is the addiction of the mobile phone. I would really, really think it's an addiction because it controls people's life more than any form of drugs that I know of. So is the mobile phone a boon or a bane? We're going to find out. And I'm going to share another story with you. Okay, this time it's my personal story. It's about a Chinese wedding. You know how in Chinese weddings you have to go on time. You cannot be late, But my husband is from India, and he's a celebrity in South India. So he's supposed to be fashionably late. So we only go for events when it starts, and then you walk the red carpet, and he waves to his fans. So that's the kind of lifestyle he's been used to, and that's how he is. He's from India, I'm a Singaporean. So we moved back to Singapore for about 6 years now. He's still back in his South India mode of thinking. So I rush him, and we go on for this Chinese wedding, and I know approximately we're going to go 15-20 minutes late. 5 minutes into the highway, and we're driving. Okay, he's driving at 120. I said, no, don't worry, I'll bring you on time. Okay, he's driving at 120. Suddenly he does this, wearing a jacket. 120, his head is down. I'm like, hey, dude, what's happening here? What are you trying to do here, And then he pulls over at the road shoulder. And this is what he does. He said, girl, I think realize it was at the sideline. It must have slipped off from his pocket. Okay? So that frenzy is what we're going to talk about in a short bit. So I asked him, this frenzy, this chaos, this expression I saw in your face I've never seen in my life. So if something was happening to me in the car, let's say I'm falling sick, I want to throw out, would you do the same thing? He said, girl, don't worry. After 16 years of marriage, if you're dying in the car, I drive slower. Well, that's my husband for you. But coming back to this, the frenzy that we were talking about is called nomophobia. Nomophobia is anxiety one feels from being away from the mobile phone. Okay? And I'm sure many of us have done it, right? Search your pockets. Hey, did I bring my phone? Did I lose it? Correct? According to the We Are Social website, the number of mobile phone subscriptions has surpassed the world population of 2014. And 1/3 of the web pages access is via the mobile phone. This is sociologist Goffman, and he says, that's okay. Let your people use your phone and they can continue because humans are made to multitask. So are we really good at multitasking? Apparently not. That's what the scholars are saying because of the looming problems. So what are these looming problems? Okay? Another story to share. A story on parenting. We all know that mummies make better parents than the father lah, okay? More women here, so males, you just have to nod your head and agree. Okay, so being the mommy that I am, and I have got 3 boys, and my eldest one, my middle one, and the youngest one. Okay, these are my 3 children. I never leave them alone with my husband. Either my mother-in-law is there, my mother is there, or my helper is there. But there was one rare occasion when I said, okay, I really had to go for this meeting, and I kept asking my husband, are you sure you can handle this? Helper on leave. Mother-in-law and mummy, I don't know where they went. No, sometimes the old folks, they just decide to go out without telling you. So I asked him whether he can handle it. He said, don't worry, go. So I'm in a meeting, like how some of you are doing right now, you know, texting below the table and pretending to listen. I was also texting him. So I was checking with him if everything was okay, whether they're all still alive, you know, or killing each other. And his messages, you won't believe it, made me feel as if he was a better parent than me. Really? My husband a better parent than me, so I was getting a bit anxious. So that evening when I went back home, there was pin drop silence lah. Not the usual scene when you have 3 kids running around, especially the youngest one. Can produce decibels that can crack a light bulb. This I'm talking about when he was about 1.5 years old. He was just screaming, he had strong lungs. Okay? So I go in, there's pin drop silence, so I'm getting worried. And they're nowhere to be found, so I open my master bedroom door, and I see my eldest one sprawled on the floor with the phone in his hand. Okay? The middle one is on my bed with the phone. My husband on his phone. Okay? So youngest one must be sleeping lah, if not he'll be bugging them, right? So I peek in, they all don't know, they're oblivious that I'm there. I peek in and I realize, he's on a phone! My 1.5-year-old is on a phone. That few hours that I have left them alone with their dad, they all have been educated on mobile usage, including my 1.5-year-old. Okay? So, thinking of that house, that scenario where I'm coming home, they're all under the same roof, but they're living as islands, separate lives. They're doing their own things. So if this can happen in between a father and children scenario, are we then voluntarily fubbing our partners? I'm talking about your spouses and your romantic relationships, okay? So that brings us to the next one. The next main point is fubbing. Fubbing is actually a coalesce of phone-mediated activities and snapping. Okay, very cheap lah. What it means is that you use your phone while someone else is in front of you while waiting for your attention. That's what it means, okay? So according to Professor Turkle, she says the mobile phone usage is actually separating people. And research by Pew Research Center, a survey actually showed that there was distracting effects of the mobile phone usage between romantic relationship partners. And 1 in 4 who were surveyed said that their partners were distracted whilst in an intimate relationship like this. 1 in 4. That means intimate can still text. I wonder how that works, really. My husband hasn't tried it with me yet, okay? So, using the phone and being in a conversation with a partner, it's multitasking possible, right? That's what Goffman says. Jekyll says no. How do you know that this person who's sitting down in front of you is actually paying attention to what you're saying or busy playing pool on his phone? Okay? some pointers to ponder about. According to the American Psychological Association, 50% of all marriages, 50% will end in divorce. Gloomy afternoon, so I must also say something gloomy. But there is a way of saving that marriage by communicating effectively, listening actively, and most importantly, switching off the mobile phone. Okay? I'm not going to deny that the mobile usage is just purely bad, it's a negative thing. There are good effects, like my 1.5-year-old who's now 3 years old, he knows more animals than I know. He says tapir and llama, and I'm like, okay, you know, and his vocabulary has expanded quite a bit. He knows more nursery rhymes than I've learned all my life. I'm 45 this year, so he knows more nursery rhymes than I do. So there are some positive, very, very positive effects of using the phone to access the internet and also to play your games. But then, I would still want to instill in my 3-year-old the fundamentals of life, respecting the person in front of you and stopping him from thumping. Okay? Let's ponder about this. Is it not ironic that cell phones, originally designed as a communication tool, may actually hinder rather than foster satisfying relationships? And is it not more ironic that in today's relationships, you can touch each other, but not each other's phone? Something to think about. I'm done. I'm just going to play a little video for you to show you the effects of the real life, just in case some of you have forgotten and you're still busy about your phones. Okay? Let me play that for you. Thank you, guys.
Out of the night, into the morning, and shine your light. Give it to the world for the first time today. I will smile for you every single time that you cry. I'll be the light. Run out of the night into the morning and shine your light. Give it to the world for the first time today. I will smile for you every single time that you cry. I'll be the light.
So, so now you're putting in the spot. Nothing but good stuff. So,
Oh, really?
sure for you.
Really?
For you, yeah.
Okay.
I think it was very engaging, and it was well put together. Now yes, we followed up with something slightly, area of improvement. I think the flow was great. I think it can be a little bit tighter in terms of flowing from point to point. But
Thank you.
that was not painful, right?
Not at all. But I want to ask you that later. Was it painful for you?
Not at all. Not at all.
Okay.